It's your boy, the Ultimate Rage. What up, Betty? Coming back with yet another live here in the No Cap Zone where we have a strict dress code. Now get the hell off with that capping ass motherfucking bullshit, okay? The only kind of cap that we allow around these parts is your thinking cap. Otherwise, you can get the fuck on somewhere. Get your stupid ass the hell on somewhere. This is not the place for you, okay? Because around here, we only care about the facts, the truth, the data, the information. You know, things that can actually be like demonstrated, you know, like in real life, in real time. You know, like while we are alive and of sound mind and body, because otherwise I have no idea what the hell these people are talking about. And to be frank, they don't know what the hell they're talking about, which is why we as a community have to talk about it. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Check it out. So, I'm perusing the internet. I'm looking at the internet and seeing things about, like, you know, all this ice stuff. Everybody hates ice. Apparently, people hate winter this time. And I can understand because it gets fucking cold. It's so cold in the deep. How the fuck we supposed to keep peace? What's on the nigga's mind? Working and doing time. Yeah, people hate ice, is what I'm saying. What up, love? What up? What up? What up? People are not digging the ice, and I can dig that. They trying to break the ice. You know what I'm saying? Hey, people, let's break the ice. You know, let's get to know one another. Isn't that what they say? Let's break the ice. What are the greatest ice breakers that you use to start a conversation? I mention this because apparently a lot of people out here are like, yo, fuck this ice shit. We're like really not with that shit. Fuck that shit. To the point where people are engaging in all kinds of protests against this ice thing, which I can understand. Because when you have these ice agents that can just murder people for no fucking reason, well, it kind of presents a problem to the safety of the community. You feel what I'm saying? Because if these people who are in these ice positions are supposed to be like serving and protecting, you know, shit like that, then how the fuck are they serving or protecting anything if they're causing harm? If they're causing the pain? If they're literally the ones that are presenting the danger? What are they protecting us from exactly? How exactly are, in fact, who exactly are they protecting? What exactly does ICE protect? Because they're not protecting us. Clearly, right? Like we're the ones getting murdered. But here's the more important thing about that. I was perusing the internet today, went to Google News just to see the goings on of the American populace. And I came across this Reuters article. Reuters, right? By Reuters, January 15th, 2026 at 1:45 p.m. Central Standard Time about Trump threatening to use the military over Minnesota anti-ICE protests. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. It's getting there, huh? It's getting to that point, huh? So that's why I titled this live something about like martial law or some shit. I might have just said martial law. What the fuck is martial law? Why did I mention martial law? What the fuck is that? And why am I saying that in regard to this? Well, let's have a conversation, y'all. So what is martial law and why did I even bring it up? Why is it even important to talk about? Well, that is when in the United States in particular, because you know I'm a jingoist, I'm a fucking American, so I only care about America. Fuck everybody else. Martial law in the United States refers to a situation where military authority temporarily replaces civil authority, typically during emergencies such as war, natural disasters, or civil unrest. It can be declared by the president or state governors, and its use has been limited historically to specific circumstances such as during the Civil War and after the Pearl Harbor attack. Now, check this out, right? Martial law. What is the overview of martial law in the United States? It refers to the temporary imposition of military control over civilian functions during emergencies. And in the U.S., it can be declared by the president, Congress, or state governors. But check this part out. Check this part out. It says, actually, the U.S. Constitution, you know, this thing, I don't know if y'all can see that, but you know, the Constitution of the United States of America, it says the U.S. Constitution does not explicitly define martial law. However, Article 1, Section 9, hold on. Where the fuck is that? Oh, look, my internet connection is unstable. What do you know? Article 1, Section fucking 9. Let me see if I can find that. Sorry for my phone being all jumpy. Just trying to find here we go. I'm trying to find Section 9 so we can all read it together. Article 1, Section 9. It says it allows for the suspension of habeas corpus during rebellion or invasion. Article 1, Section 9. The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus should not be suspended unless when in cases of rebellion or invasion, the public safety may require it. Right here. I don't know if y'all can see that. The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless when in cases of rebellion or invasion, the public safety may require it. Okay. So that's what the handy dandy Constitution has to say about martial law. But just in case, you know, let's do our due diligence, okay? What the fuck is habeas corpus? Habeas corpus, a writ that a person may seek from a court to obtain immediate release from an unlawful confinement, as when the confinement has occurred through a means that violated the person's constitutional rights. Oh, shit. You know what that sounds a lot like? It's reminded me of something that happened in the fucking past. Something that happened a little before all of this that occurred. I don't know if y'all know exactly what I'm referring to. It has to do with people being like held against their will and having their constitutional rights violated. Then again, y'all probably don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. What the fuck am I talking about? No idea. No idea. Us Americans have no fucking idea what the fuck I'm fucking talking about. I'm just saying some dumb shit that y'all probably have no idea what the fuck I'm referring to at all. Something that we just love to pretend like it never happened, but it is clear that it happened because we're still seeing the fucking effects of that shit today, right now. But what do I know? What the fuck do I know? What the hell would I know? I'm just a black man in America on the south side of Chicago. I wouldn't know shit about nothing, would I? Would I? I'm just some ignorant ass nigger, right? That's what the fuck I am to you whole ass bitch ass losers. That's what the fuck y'all tell me every single day without saying it. Y'all love to talk in all this PC ass, bitch made ass language that y'all love to use to pretend like you're such wonderful, amazing ass people while ignoring the clearly, obviously ugly elephant in the fucking room that's been here the whole entire time. And now, all of a sudden, you hoe-ass motherfuckers want to start to recognize it when Little Miss, what's her name? Oh, they attack Little Miss. Now, all of a sudden, y'all got a problem. But when it was Jerome, when it was fucking Laquan, right? It didn't fucking matter as much. I wasn't hearing a whole lot of this fascism talk, really at all. Matter of fact, I was hearing something about we should just ignore these pesky little, reparations. We should just no, how are we gonna do that? How could we possibly do that? We can give one guy $1 trillion. One guy, oh yeah, we could give him $1 trillion. But to give 12% of the population anything, too hard. It'd just be too fucking hard. Way too fucking hard. Way too fucking difficult. The whole point, let me make it explicitly clear to you fucks. My people get it. The people who are members of the No Cap crew. Y'all get it. Y'all understand because we talk about this shit every day. We all know everything always goes back to fucking slavery, you punk ass fucking bitches. Yes, the ultimate form of fascism that could possibly exist. Literally holding people hostage. Yeah. Yeah. The shit that the oil and gas and banking magnates have enjoyed the fucking fruits of the labor of. Yeah, that shit. The slave trade, American chattel slavery, yeah. Everything goes fucking back to that, and you whole ass motherfuckers love to pretend like you don't understand what the niggas talking about. Till the niggas right in front of you showing your shit to you. Your shit. This is the shit you bitch ass motherfuckers created. And now y'all want to pretend like y'all don't know what the fuck it says, even though I just showed you. I just showed it to you. What your own constitution says to you, about us, about what the fuck they think about us. But see, here's the bigger problem. We're not getting real about what the fuck we mean when we say the things that we talk about. So let's get deeper into this fucking shit. You hoe ass fucking bitches. So, what is martial law? Martial law is when the military controls civilian functions. What the fuck does that mean? What exactly does that mean? Civilian functions? Who are the civilians functioning? What are they referring to when they say civilian function? What exactly does that mean? Because if we're such a United States, right? If we're a state that's united, then who are the civilians controlling the functions? And what does it mean when all of a sudden the military gains control? What does that mean? Because now we got to start getting real about the conversations. What do we mean by civilian control? Think about this. What does civilian control mean? Because I don't control shit. I don't control shit. So you can't even talk about me. As far as I know, my neighbors don't really control shit. So who are the civilians that are in the control? Who are the civilians being overridden by the military? You talking about government? Are you talking about the people in government? Is that the civilian control you're talking about? Because that's the only people I could think of who have any say in really anything because I don't have a say in shit. Nobody listens to me. And if people do listen to me, motherfuckers shutting me the fuck off. Ensuring that I can't gain the fucking viewership that would be necessary to correct a lot of these mistakes. Because mind you, I'm on here on Substack because I can't be on TikTok because they had to shut me down 12 times by now. I wish that was an exaggeration, but considering how many times I've been shut down, it's not. The last time I went live on TikTok, I got shut down, but that's neither here nor there. The point is that I was growing at an exponential rate, but then they started playing these 1984 ass games, which goes to show you how we got to this point. But anyway, civilian functions. The only people I know of who are the civilians engaging in the functions are the people who are in government, local government. That's the only people I can think of. So basically, if local government isn't functioning properly, or people in federal government don't like what's happening in the local environment, they will send the military to try to quash whatever the fuck. Okay, that's basically what martial law is. So basically, martial law is a manifestation of government fucking it up at this. Because if the people who were in place were doing such a good job, or if the people who were in place were doing such a good job, then why the fuck would we have civil unrest? And why then would the government feel the need to utilize the military to solve the problem? Whatever happened to like having conversations and being like, hey guys, what exactly is the problem here? And actually having a conversation. And then people could be like, well, an American citizen was murdered for like no good reason. That was not cool, bro. And then you can say, oh, well, we should like totally not do that shit at all. And then you can just not do that shit. And now people aren't in constant unrest. How about that? I mean, it just seems so fucking simple. It seems so fucking basic. It seems like so obvious that that's, you know, the way things work. And yet, motherfuckers are saying, oh, terrorist. Oh, I fucking fell and broke my arm and I had to terrorist at the same time. Yeah, that doesn't fucking work. When I think of terrorists, I think of Osama bin Laden. Okay? I think of the Unabomber. I think of people like Timothy McVeigh, people who are out here engaging in actually destructive, harmful actions, you know, where people lose their fucking lives and shit like that. I don't think of a terrorist being somebody sitting in a car. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe the microplastics will cross my blood-brain barrier and they just affected my cognition and made me think I'm crazy. Maybe I'm just so fucking crazy. Maybe we should be blowing shit up. Maybe that's what we should be doing. Maybe the government is saying, no, that is what you should be doing. Is that the game we're playing? Because now that I think about it, the Unabomber was allegedly somebody who participated in MK Ultra, you know, that CIA conspiracy where they were like fucking with people's brains. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking shit. Maybe I'm just talking out of my head. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making shit up. I'm just this wacky, kooky conspiracy theorist who just doesn't know what I'm talking about, huh? Yeah. Uh-huh. But the point is, if there's civil unrest, then shouldn't a leader be like, hey, what is the problem? How can we solve this problem? Because, you know, it's 2026. It is literally the modern age. The future is now. The future is now. We should be at a point where we shouldn't have to resort to violence to resolve conflicts. Think about this, right? I've mentioned before, I'm a Bears fan because I am from Chicago. And so I'm going to ride with my Chicago teams, right? And the Chicago Bears have been having this unbelievable season. And there's been this controversy recently concerning our coach and the way that he acted with the other team's coach. Because for those of you who are unaware, I know a lot of you hate sports and you probably are rolling your eyes as I'm talking about this right now. But it's very funny to see how sports has had a pretty important place in our history in these regards. But anyway, so the Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers have the longest running rivalry in the history of sports. It's like fucking Batman and Joker of sports. You know what I'm saying? And of course, we're Batman because we're the greatest. Long story short, there's been this controversy about our coach shaking the hand of the other team's coach. And it's been like, oh my God, he's so fucking mean. He didn't like give him a really, really, really good handshake. So it's like terrible and horrible and woefully just tactless and all this type of shit. And everybody's been acting like this is the most terrible, most horrible thing because he didn't give him the greatest fucking handshake. Handshake. A fucking handshake. I mean, it's gotten so bad. And I wish I was joking. I wish I was joking. I shit you not. I literally shit you not. Motherfuckers made a petition that last time I checked got 3,000 signatures telling the Chicago Bears coach Ben Johnson to apologize to the Green Bay Packers coach Matt LaFleur for not giving him the fucking greatest fucking handshake in the fucking world. Right? But yet here we are, kidnapping other fucking countries' presidents. They're acting like fucking asses about it. This is a tale of two nations. On one hand, oh my God, he didn't fucking shake his hand to the best of his ability. Oh my fucking God, how could he possibly do that? Where is the decorum in a sport where everybody's working to tear their heads off? Oh my God, he didn't fucking shake his fucking hand. Oh my God. Meanwhile, we're dropping bombs. We're sending drones. We're kidnapping world leaders. We're murdering civilians. Pretending like none of that shit is happening at all. They're acting like this is normal. Literally acting like this shit is actually normal. And we don't see the issue. We don't see the obvious dichotomy here. The laughable dichotomy here. You mad about shaking the motherfucker's hand, but you're not mad about people losing their lives? What on earth? What the fuck? Where the fuck is your brain at? That's why we gotta talk about this shit. That's why we have to talk about this shit. So, basically what I'm saying is, what the hell is civil function? Who are the civilians engaging in function? Because at the end of the day, we're all people. We're all people. Because guess what? The people in the military are people. The people in government are people. People are people. Everywhere is people. Corporations are people. Gangs are people. People. Fucking 501c3s are people. Classrooms are people. Everything, every group you can think of is all the same shit. Is a bunch of fucking people. So that's why it's kind of strange when we talk about these things using these terms, but at the end of the day, it's all the same shit. Because we, the people, we don't control anything. So even though they use these terms, imposition of military control over civilian functions, we civilians aren't actually functioning. You probably just got a job and you go to work and you work for probably a corporation or some shit. Or maybe you work for government. I don't fucking know. If you work for government, then you have some maybe influence in government functions, but you probably have a very, 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 very minute amount, if at all, depending on where you work, where you function, what your position is. Unless you're in a high public office, in which case you probably have a great influence. The point is, when we're talking about military taking over shit, there's no clear discussion about what that actually means. Again, who is the military taking over? What is the military taking over? What function? What function? Because clearly there is dysfunction, or else there would not be unrest. So what is the cause of the unrest? So according to this, mind you, we're using Google, or actually DuckDuckGo. We're using DuckDuckGo. So take it with a grain of salt. I don't know if y'all can see this. This glare. It's fucking glare, man. But anyway, martial law has been declared in the U.S. at least 68 times, often in response to specific crises. In New Orleans, the War of 1812, the Great Chicago Fire. In 1871, San Francisco earthquake in 1906, the Civil Rights Movement in 1963. Hawaii, the Pearl Harbor incident in 1941. So we're talking about some historical ass shit. Some historical history shit. So it says, while the president has significant authority as commander-in-chief, the ability to declare martial law is constrained by law and tradition. Recent discussions have raised concerns about the potential for martial law-like conditions without formal declarations, particularly in politically charged environments. Understanding martial law, this was I'm still reading. Understanding martial law is crucial as it highlights the balance between civil liberties and national security during crises. Okay? So, let's actually get into this article. I know we set all this shit up so we can actually start talking about this article. This Reuters article, you know, the one let me show you again, just in case you forgot. Reuters, January 15th, 2026 at 1:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. That is today's date, the 15th, okay? The 15th. Trump threatens to use military over Minnesota anti-ICE protests. So let's get to the story. The summary says, the threat comes after weeks of Trump deriding state Democrats and Somalis. A Reuters Ipsos survey finds Republicans are split on aggressive law enforcement. Soldiers have been deployed in the U.S. 30 times since the Insurrection Act of 1807, which we're going to get to. So we're just going to read a little bit of this. So the U.S. President Donald Trump threatened on Thursday to invoke the Insurrection Act to deploy military forces in Minnesota after days of angry protests over a surge in immigration agents on the streets of Minneapolis. Confrontations between residents and federal officers have become increasingly tense after an Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent, ICE, fatally shot a U.S. citizen, Renee Good, in a car 8 days ago in Minneapolis, and the protests have spread to other cities. Trump's latest threat came a few hours after an immigration officer shot a Venezuelan man who the government said was fleeing after agents tried to stop his vehicle in Minneapolis. The man was wounded in the leg. So, what the fuck? So, why exactly is this ICE shit in Minneapolis in the first place? Like, what exactly are they doing? Like, what is the actual purpose of them being there in the first place? Well, I guess because there's all these international conflicts occurring across the world. A lot of people flee from those countries, people who are deemed like refugees and stuff like that. And so they get displaced and they, run away, they flee. And some of those people relocate to America. And then we get an influx of those people here in America, and some of those people frankly suck. And so because some of those people suck, they have been scapegoated as the problem. So now we have this ICE thing in all these different places to fix this problem, and it's only causing more problems. And so yeah, we have this super suboptimal situation where people, we here in America, the United States of America. Yeah, we're like not really united at all. We got enough issues among us. Last thing we need is other crazies to come here and fuck shit up too. Because now we're all just at a fucking war with each other and shit. Now it's just all this fucking chaos. Might explain why, like I said yesterday, out of 163 countries on the Global Peace Index, we are damn near at the fucking bottom at 128 out of 163 countries. 128 out of 163 countries. And just in case you think I'm fucking bullshit, let me just show you again, because I very, very love very much to show y'all what the fuck I'm talking about, not just saying shit so that you can just take my word for it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I was some loony who didn't know what he was talking about, like some Alex Jones kind of goofy or some Jordan Peterson kind of goofy. No, I like to show the things that I talk about. There's this website called Vision of Humanity. Visionofhumanity.org. Okay? It hosts what is called the Global Peace Index. Okay? The Global Peace Index. It ranks 163 countries based on their level of peace, utilizing a composite index measuring the peacefulness of countries made up of 23 quantitative and qualitative indicators, each weighted on a scale of 1 to 5. So the lower the score, the more peaceful the country, which means number 1 is the most peaceful country. And as you can see, the most peaceful country is not the United States of America, which some people think for some retarded ass reason is the greatest country in the world. Clearly it is not, because we are not number 1. We are not number 12. We are not number 26. We're not number 39. We're not 77. We're not 88. We're not 112. We are all the way down to 128 out of 163 countries. For a country that's supposed to be the greatest country in the world, for a country that's supposed to be like a global leader or whatever, this is really, this should be really concerning to anybody, that the greatest country in the world is like one of the least peaceful. One of the least peaceful. Should tell you something. Tells you that maybe we can't be as great as these goofies claim, because if we were great, if we were actually fucking great, then wouldn't we be number 1? Or at least, at the very least, if we were like Number 12. If we were number 12, we could at least make a case. Being 12 with an 8 behind it, there's really no good excuse for that. For a country that claims to be so fucking great. You know, we're so great. What the fuck does that mean? What is greatness? What the hell do these retards mean when they say great? When they say that, oh, we're the greatest country in the world? Because maybe we're just using different words. Maybe because I'm such a Chicago head ass dude. Maybe because I hate the Packers so much. When you're saying great, maybe you mean like grating cheese, right? Maybe that's what you meant by great. You like to grate cheese a lot, and that's what you think America is. We're just a giant grate. We're just so great. In which case, okay, that makes sense. We are a giant fucking tool. I agree. Yes, America is a giant fucking tool. That makes perfect sense. But if you're trying to say like we're great, like we're awesome, we're amazing, we're like totally tubular, dude, then I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't see any tubes anywhere. If anything, I'm seeing tubes getting tied. But maybe you're just watching the tube too much. Maybe I need to turn off the tube. The YouTube. I don't fucking know. All I know is 128 is not great. Not when it comes to being peaceful. To me, greatness would be like you're really, really peaceful. Like you're really like, you know, civilized. Yeah, that's a good word. You're a civilized person. Civility. You're engaging in civility. That you're not just the type of person to jump and slap me in the face just because you don't like the way I look. That you'll engage and be like, hey, how's it going, brother? What's your name? Oh, the ultimate rage. Well, I'm the United States of America. How do you do? You seem like a really swell guy. Hey, maybe I can help you out, hook you up. And no, it's not. That's not what the United States does. The United States says, fuck you. Oh, it's not working for you? Well, I guess you just gotta figure it out. Matter of fact, I'ma just kill you for no fucking reason. Do some. Do some. So basically, the United States of America is Debo. Basically, that's what we're finding out. The United States of America is Debo from Friday. For those of you who have zero culture of any kind, there's this movie called Friday. It's called Friday. It stars this rapper named Ice Cube playing the role of Craig, a young black male from what appears to be the city of Los Angeles in California. And there's this character named Debo, who's like the neighborhood bully, the neighborhood thug who goes around extorting people. That appears to be what the United States chooses to act like. Oh, I should mention this because this is actually apropos considering the topic and recent events. But for those of you who are unaware of American culture, the character Debo in the movie Friday is allegedly based on the real life gangbanger named Big U, who was recently arrested for a number of crimes. Yeah, that's what America is right there. A fucking criminal operating unlawfully, making rules for thee, not for me. That's why we have these issues in Iran. And that's another thing that makes this ironic too. Okay? Because apparently there are some going ons in Iran. I don't know exactly what's going on in Iran. Really don't be paying attention to other countries like that. Because I'm a jingoist. I'm all about America because fuck all the other countries. It's all about America. Um, but apparently it's something about protests of some sort and like motherfuckers threatening to like hang protesters or some I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand. But something about how the United States is willing to like do something, if they do something to protesters or something like that, um, something about how um we we might drop a bomb or something. I don't know exactly. Um, I'm looking at this article in Al Jazeera where it says something about how the White House says that all options remain on the table to take military action against Iran, reiterating that look, Al Jazeera via Yahoo News, Al Jazeera. U.S. says all options on the table if Iran protest killings continue. And White House says all options remain on the table for the United States to take military action against Iran, reiterating that Tehran will face grave consequences if the killings of anti-government protesters continue. And I just find that hyper ironic. Just hyper ironic for multiple reasons. One, we allegedly had this deal with Iran that I do believe it was President Trump sabotage for like no good reason. And it's not like it was the greatest deal in the fucking world. But I mean, like, at least we had some kind of deal, and Trump was like, fuck that. So now there's no deal. So now we're at this point where we may actually be engaging in yet another war, right? So that's the one irony. The other irony is we will be engaging in war because they are murdering their own citizens when, for protesting, when people are here protesting because of the government murdering its own citizens and choosing now to utilize military action against protesters who don't like American citizens being murdered. And there's no, not even like a sense of humor here. Like the I don't know. Maybe I'm just fucking crazy. Oh, 800 executions, that's pretty crazy. Um, but the fact of the matter is, why is government killing its own citizens at all? For what exactly? For what purpose? I say this all the time to you folks. The reason why we have these dysfunctions in society is because someone or someones are benefiting greatly from these dysfunctions. There are too many individuals that benefit from dysfunction, which is why these dysfunctions persist. That's why these lies, these propaganda get pushed through social media and legacy media, because somehow they've made it up in their minds that all of this shit is somehow good for us. They frame it like it's bad, right? Like they show us U.S. says all options on the table. We see these headlines. These headlines scare us. I mean, this is great for news agencies, for sure. Help stoke the flames so that more action happens, so that they have more to talk about. There's that. Obviously the paramilitary companies, the fucking mercenaries, weapons manufacturers, they obviously benefit because hey, they can fucking fund both sides. Why the fuck not? Double up on the dough. And who knows who else? I mean, obviously politicians might be getting some kind of a kickback, you know what I'm saying? Might be getting a donation or two. or might be getting a promise for a career after their term has been served. You know, a good job, cushy job position post career. Who knows? I don't fucking know. But I do know is that none of this is good for us. You know, the civilians, the people. This is not good for us at all. Period. And we don't seem to have any way to fucking do anything about this shit. So, it was mentioned this Insurrection Act of 1807. What the fuck is that? Why is the president threatening to use this Insurrection Act as a result of these fucking protests in Minnesota? Why would he do that? For what purpose? For what? Why? Well, let's check it out. The Insurrection Act of 1807. The Insurrection Act of 1807, or just the Insurrection Act, is the U.S. federal law that empowers the President of the United States to nationally deploy the U.S. military and to federalize the National Guard units of the individual states in specific circumstances, such as the suppression of civil disorder, of insurrection, and of armed rebellion against the federal government of the U.S. The Insurrection Act provides a statutory exception to the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878 that limits the president's deploying the U.S. military to enforce either civil law or criminal law within the United States. Now, what in the fuck is this Posse Comitatus Act? Well, let's take a gander, shall we? The Posse Comitatus Act. The Posse Comitatus Act is a United States federal law signed into law on June 18th, 1878 by President Rutherford B. Hayes. Well, that's a fucking president name you'd rarely hear these days. President Rutherford B. Hayes. I mean, we don't never talk about this dude. Maybe we need to do some more research. Anyway, it was a law signed by President Ruthie that limits the use of federal military personnel to enforce domestic law by the federal government or by other government entities such as the county sheriffs and justices of the peace. Congress passed the act as an amendment to an Army appropriations bill following the end of Reconstruction and updated in 1956, 1981, and 2021. Isn't it funny? It always comes back to slavery. It always comes back to slavery in some form or fashion. All of the things that we have to deal with today always come back to tax. But these bitch-ass goofies want to pretend like they don't understand any of that. Like some shit didn't even ever happen. What are you talking about? I don't know. I don't really know. I just don't know. Anyway. So check this out. And we're not done. We're going to go a little more in depth on this. But it says, the act originally applied only to the United States Army, but a subsequent amendment in 1956 expanded its scope to the United States Air Force. In 2021, the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2022, further expanded the scope of the act to cover the United States Navy, Marine Corps, and Space Force. The act does not prevent the Army National Guard or the Air National Guard under state authority from acting in a law enforcement capacity within its home state or in an adjacent state if invited by that state's governor. The United States Coast Guard, under the Department of Homeland Security, is not covered by the act either, primarily because although it is an armed service, it also has a maritime law enforcement mission. The title of the act comes from the legal concept of posse comitatus, the authority under which a county sheriff or another law officer can conscript any able-bodied person or group to assist in keeping the peace. See, this is what is important. If we're going to be talking about current events, if we're going to be talking about historical precedents and all this type of shit, then we need to understand what the fuck we're talking about. We need to understand why things are happening now by understanding what happened then. That's one of the reasons why I hate on this app when all these bitch ass, goofy ass people, many of whom appear to be white, talking about all this fucking fascism shit, throwing around the term fascism like it's fucking candy, ignoring all the fascism that has happened throughout our nation's history, even in recent history. Like, a lot of this shit wasn't that long ago. Like, the Civil Rights Act was barely, like, 70 years ago. Like, 60 years ago. We have literal footage of fascism in action. People being attacked by dogs and being attacked with fucking fire hoses, being hung from trees, being attacked just walking to school. And we act like we just forgot about that shit. There's more talk. And yeah, I'm going there. I'm going there. I'm going there. I'm about to go there. Yeah, I'm about to say it. I'm about to fucking say it. I don't give a fuck who gets mad. There's more talk about the goddamn Holocaust than about American slavery. And it sickens me. Listen, two things can be true. The Holocaust was horrible, and American slavery and its subsequent effects are also horrible. Both things can be true. We can talk about both things. We don't have to just talk about the one thing. We can talk about both things. We can say both things are bad. Right? We can say both things are bad. We can say, hey, that's fucked up. What happened to those Jews over there? Horrible. Terrible. Disgusting. Sickening. But give me a fucking break. Because you bitch ass motherfuckers still want to pretend like you don't understand what slavery was. Y'all act like we can't talk about it. Like it's like the most disgusting thing in the world to even mention it. Because some of you motherfuckers are guilty. Some of you motherfuckers either descend from the fuckers who did the shit or you benefit from the fuckers who did the shit. And therefore, you want to forget the shit and pretend like the shit didn't even happen. And yet, it has such a huge impact on the things that are happening today. Which is why we need to talk about all of this shit today. And while you bitch ass goofies gotta knock it off with the fucking pretentious bullshit. All of this, oh, we can't use certain words and certain terms because they're so uncouth. They're so tactless. It's so unpleasant. Shut your bitch ass the fuck up. You know what's unpleasant? Getting shot in front of fucking everybody and nobody can do shit because they afraid they might get shot because your bitch ass is such a psycho. That's very unpleasant. Having to worry about what the fuck your crazy ass is gonna do, because clearly you got a gun, we don't, and even if we do, we're afraid of what might happen if we use it, because you will use yours. We can clearly see that. That's why we're here. That's why we're here, because you can't stop. You cannot stop with the shooting and the killing and the looting and the pillaging. The same shit that has been happening throughout human history still happens today, and we are allowing these fucking psychos to constantly get away with this psychopathic behavior. And the time is now to corral all that fucking shit and put it to a stop. We can't do that if we're more focused on decorum than the goddamn facts. than the goddamn history that has been happening all of this fucking time that bitch-ass motherfuckers want to pretend like didn't happen. That people want to pretend like we shouldn't talk about because, oh, it'd be terrible. No, it's time for y'all to start learning some shit. It is time for you goofies out here to stop with the willful ignorance and the straight up retardation. Yes, I'm saying it. I'm saying it because you motherfuckers have been on this retarded shit for so fucking long. And it's time that a motherfucker brings the truth to your undivided attention in the way that you don't like, because you're a bitch. A hoe ass, pussy ass, goofy ass bitch that wants to run away and hide from the truth. And I'm bringing it to your face and calling you stupid as hell on top of it, because that's what you've been this whole entire time. Either that or you've been a disingenuous asshat pretending like you're this politically correct asshat that wants to continue the asshattery, and I'm done with that shit. Now get the fuck off with that garbage. It's time to talk about the reality. And I am not gonna let you goofies get away with it. It's time to get real. So let's get deeper into this Posse Comitatus Act. Because guess what? There's gonna be some juiciness. I'm looking at, just mind you, I've not looked at this shit. I'm learning about this shit as you're learning about it right now. I've never heard about this shit before right now. Well, before I came on here, I got a lot of the shit pre-ready. I have not looked through the shit, I've not read through the shit, but there's some juicy shit in here. That's why it's good for us to talk about it. That's why you can miss me with all of your bitch ass feelings and all of your fucking, oh, you didn't like this word I use. I don't give a fuck. Because I don't see any of you bitch ass goofies talking about any of this shit anywhere. So I'm talking about it. Because who the fuck else is gonna do it? Because clearly you ain't. You a bitch. That's why you ain't talking about it. And I'm not talking about to you, my people. I'm talking about these bitch ass goofies who want to fucking cry about it. Anywho, let's continue. The history. Let's get into it. It's a lot of rich ass shit right here. The Act, Section 15 of the Appropriations Bill for the Army for 1879, found at 20 Stat 152, was a response to and subsequent prohibition of the military occupation of the former Confederate States by the United States Army during the 12 years of Reconstruction, after the fucking Civil War over slavery, following, the American Civil War, just like I just said. Okay, yeah. I was just getting ahead of myself. The U.S. Constitution places primary responsibility for the holding of elections in the hands of the individual states. The maintenance of peace, conduct of orderly elections, and prosecution of unlawful actions are all state responsibilities according to any state's role of exercising police power and maintaining law and order, whether part of a wider federation or a unitary state. However, in the former Confederate states, many paramilitary groups sought to suppress, often through intimidation and violence, African-American political power and return the South to rule by the predominantly white Democratic fucking Party, you fucking fucks! What in the fuck? Although African Americans were initially supported by the federal government, of course, as Reconstruction went on, that support waned. Following the bitterly disputed 1876 U.S. presidential election and compromise of 1877, congressmen and senators from the former Confederate states returned to Washington and prioritized prohibiting the federal government from reimposing control over their states. And after President Hayes used federal troops to end the Great Railroad Strike of 1877, there was sufficient bipartisan support to pass what became the Posse Comitatus Act. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like I said, it always goes back to slavery and just basically discrimination against us black people. That's why I get so livid. I get so livid when I hear this bitch ass shit from a lot of these goofy ass liberals. And look, I get it. Many of them may really mean well. Some, well, I don't know how many. Some of them mean well. And I'm just not talking about liberals. Liberals, leftists, people that be on this app. I hate it. Hate, 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 hate it. Y'all be throwing around the word fascism so fucking much. And wasn't doing that this whole time when we had undoubtedly clear evidence of this. And look, it said the Democratic Party. And you can miss me with all of this. Oh, well, that was the Democratic Party then. They're not that same party now because guess what? Ain't shit changed. Matter of fact, they flipped the script. And it's so clever how you fuckers did it. Oh my God, it's so clever. But we'll talk about that another time. Yeah. Talk about that another time. The fact of the matter is, it was the Democrats, the predominantly white Democrats suppressing African American political power. But y'all flipped the script. Now y'all got us sucking the Democratic cock all day. And I'll give it to you, Democrats. You're fucking clever. You're fucking, I mean, it's really not that clever, but it's pretty clever. All you have to do is just not act like the retarded Republicans that act that they're now, who are clearly fucking racist as hell. All y'all have to do is just act less racist. And now black people vote Democrat like it's no fucking body's business. Here in Chicago, I mean, I literally worked the polls in the midterms a couple years back, you know, when we had the midterms. Every single black person that came up in there, well, every single person that came up in there, because every person that came up in there was black. Every person that came up in there grabbed the Democrat ballot with the quickness. Wasn't even a thought. Wasn't even a thought. And so I asked one of my fellow poll workers, or whatever you want to, volunteers, whatever you want to call it. I'm like, everybody votes Democrat without a second fucking thought. Without a second thought. I mean, every single person, 100% of the people that came up in here. Probably some of y'all too, while we at it. Everybody voting Democrat, voting Democrat, voting Democrat. How exactly does that solve any of these problems that we have that have persisted for all this time? And this lady, and she was all the other poll workers were older black ladies, all of them. Every single one of them was older black women, every single one. I asked her this question, she didn't have a fucking answer. How could all these problems, you know, like all these problems, the gangs, property tax hikes and shit, all the taxes and all the shit, budget deficit, all the shit. How could we have all of these problems? And y'all vote Democrat so fucking consistently. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucking twisted. Don't think that I'm saying, okay, well, maybe you should vote Republican, because that is unquestionably not a solution. The point is that both of these major parties have majorly failed miserably in helping us to create a well-functioning society for ourselves to this point where we have these situations of political unrest where we have people getting pissed the fuck off because our fucking safety is being threatened by the government that's supposed to be protecting our safety, by the very people who are supposedly representing us. That's why they have titles like representative. They do not represent us. They haven't represented us, and they never will represent us because that's not what this is all about. That's what I'm showing you. A country that was built on slavery does not give a fuck about your freedom. That's why all this talk of freedom is ridiculous. I was watching a video just the other day. In fact, I think this is their latest video. It's this channel on YouTube called Ewu Body Cam. Explore with us, Body Cam. Shout out to them because they got great content. Their latest video, last time I checked, was about all these goofies that keep trying to go to Area 51 because they want to be one with aliens. And every time, guess what's happening? They're getting stopped. They're getting fucking citations. They're getting fines. They're getting jail time just for going to Area 51. That don't sound like freedom to me. That doesn't sound like freedom to me. That's not what I think of when I think of freedom. When I think of freedom, I don't think restricted access. When I think of freedom, I don't think, oh, cop might just shoot me just cause. Freedom doesn't sound like, oh, we get mad because you want to shoot us, and instead of you being like, hey, are fucking bad, man. Yes, you're right. We should. No. You double and tripling down and be like, hey, no, we should utilize the Insurrection Act. And this motherfucker been threatening this shit this whole time. That he gonna utilize the Insurrection Act, the Insurrection Act, the Insurrection Act. Constant fucking news articles throughout 2025 of him threatening to utilize the fucking Insurrection Act. Very rarely are there conversations about, oh, president gonna meet with people to discuss the issues that are causing the unrest so that we can actually reach a solution. Something that I would think a leader would do. Now, here's my thing too with that. It's very, 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 very easy to dump on Trump. He might be the most hated man. And I mean, he ain't the most hated. I'm the most hated. Because at least he has fans who love the fuck out him, who help enrich and empower and enable him on a constant basis because they're fucking retarded. I'm the most hated man because I got more haters than followers. I am willing to bet you if we looked at my fucking TikTok right now, I probably have more people I have blocked than people who have followed me, especially considering that I've been constantly losing followers because I haven't been able to do a live there because if I fucking fart, they might fucking suspend me. So that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is that he's very easy to dump on. But he's not the only president to ever fucking quash civil unrest. I mean, every president has done it. At least within the past several decades, they all do it. Even though, supposedly, according to the Constitution, it says that we have the right to, peaceably assemble. It says it right here, First Amendment, right? Like, it says, the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. That's what it says right here. It's literally the first thing that it said. Amendment 1. The first fucking amendment, and yet they violate all the time. We cannot complain at all because they don't give a fuck. And there's no real true pathway for redressing our grievances. We can't even begin to talk. Who the fuck we gonna talk to? Look, we're gonna write Congress? We're gonna try to request a meeting? We'll request a meeting, they'll hear us, they'll be like, okay, I guess, whatever. And then they're just gonna forget because a lobby is gonna come in with that bag and drop that bag off and say, hey, keep it up. But this is where we have the problem right here. Because technically, we fucking could talk to these fucking people, but we would have to be on a united front. Because see, even though all these fucking, the rich, the banks, the corporations, the churches, they got all the fucking money. They got all the money. They got all the fucking money, all of it. They got all the resources. They control all the media companies. They have all the reach. They have all the personnel, everything that they need. But see, the thing is, we people have the numbers. That's the difference. There are, 350 million Americans total, give or take? You mean to tell me we couldn't get a tenth of a percent of that to make all the changes that we need possible, to make all of the optimizations needed to ensure that we create a society that prioritizes our collective health and well-being, that actually represents us, that actually cares about our quality of life, that cares about how well we are doing right now. We could do that if we were to all get aligned for that purpose. But that's where we always face the issues. We don't align for shit. That's why I say even our name is a lie. That's why I say all the time, we are here in America, the scam capital, the cap capital, the divided states of corporations, because we here don't unite for shit other than stupid ass bullshit like religion, Christianity in particular. 2/3 of the populace can unite for Jesus, a dude who doesn't even exist right now. Ask you where the fuck is this Jesus character? You don't know where he's at. Can't find him. Can't bring him to me. Can't put me in touch with the dude. Can't give me a phone number, an email, a TikTok handle, nothing. But we can't unite for each other right now. The very people who we can verify exist right now, because you're here, I'm here, we're all here together. How the fuck motherfuckers can unite for some bullshit, for some stupid? The greatest scam of all time got 2/3 of our population. The greatest scam ever. Talking about you can go to the super duper happy place after you die. But they talked about how we can make this right here the super duper happy place right now. 2/3, 200 million people can unite for that. Oh, and by the way, we're gonna rape a lot of kids. They can sign me up for that. But we can't figure out how to work together to optimize our country right now. We can't get 2/3 of the people. We don't even need 2/3. That's the thing that's so ironic. I'm not even asking for 2/3. I said 1/10 of 1%. Because between 2/3 of the population, they can't figure out heads or tails where the fuck Jesus is at right now. They even come up with different answers. We've dealt with these people every day. They say that he's outside space time. They say he's in another dimension. He's in my heart, my mind, my soul. Look at the trees. Look at the fucking tree. They can't give an actual exact coordinate of any kind at all for this thing. But 2/3 of the people can unite for that. For that. For this sci-fi fucking fairy tale. You mean to tell me we can't collectively get 1/10 of a percent of the population? We're talking about 300 million people. 1% is 3.5 million people. 1/10 of that is like 350,000. That's still a lot of fucking people, but imagine 350,000 people working towards optimizing our society, maximizing our fucking capabilities. Because ultimately, as I'm always talking about, we should be working to understand our reality, understanding ourselves, our origins, individually and collectively as a society, as a human race, as living organisms, as earthlings, as living conscious beings. These are the things we should be trying to figure out, because these are the greatest mysteries facing us right now. Why are we here? What is all of this? How did it come to be? Is this all that there is? Is there more to it? Is it a multiverse, a superverse, an omniverse, an E8 lattice? Is it a fucking simulation? What the fuck is all of this shit? Where the fuck are we? We're not going to figure it out with fucking bullshit. We're not going to figure it out by reading ancient sci-fi fantasy fairy tales and thinking that, oh, because it says this in passage chapter 12, verse 17, that's the fucking answer. When if I ask you to show me that shit right now, you can't show me shit. No, our best tools are to utilize reason, logic, fact-based evidence, buoyed by empathy, and most certainly the scientific methods, science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics, aka STEAM. Science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics. These are our best tools for understanding the nature of our reality, for understanding ourselves, for understanding culture, for understanding fucking improving upon anything. It's the only way. And if you're going to tell me that ain't the way and that this other way is the way, show us. Show us how that shit works to help us improve our collective well-being, to optimize our ability to work together interdependently with synergy, to improve our well-being, to lengthen our lives, to improve the quality of life that we all experience, to improve our health, our well-being, to enhance our health and well-being, our capabilities, our physical capabilities, our cognitive capabilities, our ability to fucking cooperate, to collaborate towards sensible goals that continue to help us improve upon this process. Because if we're not doing that, then what the fuck are we doing? What the hell are we doing? This is why it's so important for us to talk about this. That's why I hate when people come at me with this bullshit about why won't you let people believe what they want to believe? Why won't you just let people believe what they want to believe? If you don't agree, then why don't you just leave them alone and don't just fucking start and you so it's a problem if I challenge your fucking bullshit. But when these loud mouths be out here just fucking shouting from the top of the mountains, all this fucking Jesus shit, that's totally cool. Motherfuckers are allowed to spend millions of dollars for commercial ad space during the Super Bowl talking about he gets us, and I can't question that shit. I can't say who gets what, how, in what way. Who's he? And why should I give a fuck about him? What exactly does he do? In fact, where is he? This he that you're talking about, where is he right now? Take me to his office right now, because I want to speak to this motherfucker so we can figure out what the fuck is so great about this dude that's so wonderful. The fact that they make it so difficult for us to even do that goes to show you why it's a fucking scam. Y'all can talk about it all day, but we can't question it. But you ain't demonstrating shit other than your constant ability to be crazy and rape children. I don't understand it. So that's why we gotta talk about all this shit. Because these goofies are in every facet of the fucking population. They're in every fucking branch of the government. They're in almost every fucking corporation. Like I said, two fucking thirds of the American population is this one sci-fi fantasy. And yet we're fucking, like I said earlier, 128 out of 163 countries on the Global Peace Index. There's clearly a discrepancy. If 2/3 of the entire population could be one thing, and yet we are so fucking low in terms of peace among developed countries, what the fuck are these people talking about? Clearly, there is a discrepancy. If they are all right, if they're all correct in their assessment and their belief system, then that means something's wrong with their belief system. If they're correct, something's wrong with their belief system. Because why is the correctness of their belief system not translating to high fucking results? Why do we here in America, why don't we have the best metrics of all countries? Why don't we have the most peaceful country? Why don't we have the lowest rate of teen pregnancy? Why don't we have the fucking cleanest environment? Why don't we have the highest grade food? Why don't we have the number one ultimate best education system? Why don't we get the best healthcare outcomes? We spend the most on healthcare. We're number one in spending, but we're not number one in outcomes. What the fuck is that about? Shouldn't these be things that we want to be like super duper great at for us to say that we're the greatest country in the world? Well, you could have fucking fooled me because this ain't great to me. This is crap. This is trash. This is suboptimal for a country that claims to be the greatest country in the fucking world. You gotta be fucking shitting me. That's one of the reasons why I always show y'all this. And I find it so ironic. I find it so fucking ironic when people have a problem with me doing this. But I love doing it because it shows the point. Now, this is one of the things that I talk about and will always talk about. For those of you who may not know, The Ultimate Rage is my name. I hail from the south side of Chicago, Illinois. You know, the third biggest city in the nation. The third biggest, you got New York City, you got Los Angeles, and then you got Chicago. Okay, this is where I live in Chicago. I live in the neighborhood called Auburn Gresham. That blue dot is where I am currently sitting right this second. Okay, look at all these churches all fucking around me all fucking day. And yet, despite all these fucking churches all around me, this neighborhood, Auburn Gresham, is considered one of the worst neighborhoods in the nation. Now, how could that be with all of this extreme Jesus representation? All of this Jesus representation. Motherfuckers will literally get on here and be like, oh, you shouldn't dox yourself. You shouldn't show your location publicly. But I'm like, here's the irony. Why? What do I have to be afraid of? You? You? I'm afraid of you. What are you gonna do? You're gonna come to one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the nation and do what to me? The fuck you gonna do? Because the whole point is, by you being here, you're putting yourself at risk. And why would you want to do that? But then it highlights one of the biggest ironies of it all. You would think that with this hyper Jesus representation, that this would be one of the safest neighborhoods in the nation. You know, because Christianity's so fucking true, right? And all these super duper Christy Christians exist all around me. I'm talking about my whole family, all my neighbors, everybody damn near around me, all super Christy Christians. You would think that violence wouldn't even exist because all these people believe in the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, you know, the Lord and Savior, like he saves people and stuff like that. Then why are there people always getting lost? Why are people always coming up missing? Getting dropped off like a bad habit? How could this occur if the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is real and that believing in him was actually like valuable somehow? All these people in government, all these people in the fucking White House and the Supreme Court, and all I see is constant failure. And so I don't know if this is just like straight up incompetence, like these motherfuckers are just out of their fucking minds, retarded, idiotic, imbecilic, buffoonish, or if this is some evil, diabolical plan out of pure greed. Because at the end of the day, the result is the same. At the end of the day, we still have these suboptimal conditions and a system that's woefully inadequate in terms of optimizing the world for our collective benefit. So if we want a system to actually prioritize our collective benefit, our collective well-being, our health, our wealth, our ability to survive and thrive, to live harmoniously among each other, working towards the collective goal of constant improvement, of understanding the nature of reality so that we can master it and fucking mold it to our best fucking benefits, then what the fuck are we doing? What the hell? What in the hell are we doing? If we're not doing that, then what the fuck are we doing? And what's the fucking point of that shit? I think that I have made my case pretty fucking clear. We should be working to improve our collective benefit. And in order to do that, we have to work interdependently with synergy. But in order to work together interdependently with synergy, we have to get on the same page, which means that we need to accept the reality as it is. And the reality is that America is a hyper-capitalist, plutocratic, oligarchical, kakistocratic, kleptocratic, gerontocratic, theocratic, idiocratic, techno-feudalist corporatocracy. Okay, which means that we're a nation run by a small group of rich, old, goofy, retarded, nonsensical, idiotic, imbecilic, corrupt, literally unqualified Jesus freaks who don't know shit about fuck other than being bitch-ass simps for the rich, the banks, the corporations, and the churches, using technology to gaslight us, to shape us, mold us, condition us, and to basically submitting to their fucking sci-fi fantasy bullshit so they can continue to gaslight us like this is all for the best when it's clearly not. If these fuckers knew what they were doing, the things we experience would not be what we experience at all. Unless, of course, they do know what they're doing and that this shit is deliberate. That they are deliberately causing these things, which only goes to show not only how inadequate they are, but how these type of people never need to be in a position of leadership ever again. That's why I don't subscribe to either major party, because both major parties, Democrats and Republicans, brought us to this point of extreme chaos and dysfunction. If they knew what they were doing, we would not be here. When they have fucking elections and debates and all that type of shit, they would actually be substantive. We would be learning a lot. We would see people who actually have a desire to improve upon things, and we would see literal metrics of these improvements that they're making. What we don't see is what the fuck I just said. We don't see none of that shit. We don't see no actual metrics showing that these motherfuckers are doing a good job, that they're improving our quality of life, that they're improving every single facet of our society. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite. Things are getting worse by the day, and these fuckers have demonstrated their lack of desire, their woeful ineptitude, their constant fucking corruption on a constant basis. This is the point of capitalism. Capitalism is not about improving shit. Capitalism is so that those who control the means of production can get richer and richer and richer. Damn everybody else. That is why we have these suboptimal conditions, because the motherfuckers who own everything, they're doing very swell. They're making record profits. They're getting all the resources. They control everything. They're constantly growing, and everybody else is stuck. If anything, we're getting worse. We're getting deeper in debt. We're getting broker. Our fucking dollars are getting thinned out, and they are worth less. They are worth lesser and lesser and lesser and lesser and lesser. We have to spend more money to buy the same shit, to buy lesser quality shit. These are dark patterns these fuckers have been implementing all this time, and we can't get a hold of it because we are so fucking divided. We can't agree on shit. We can't even agree on the most basic facets of our reality. That's why we need to start having these conversations now. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about how you feel about what you were indoctrinated to think, what you were drilled in your mind to think, what you were fucking conditioned to think, all the commercials you saw in your life, all the Disney movies you saw in your life. We got to live in the real world now. If we ever hope to make any difference and improve our collective quality of life, we need to come together. In order to do that, need you to hit that follow button, need you to hit that like button, need you to follow me everywhere on all social media platforms. You can follow me mostly everywhere at The Ultimate Rage. You can follow me on TikTok at The Ultimate Rage 9, The Ultimate Rage 079, The Ultimate Rage 0079, and The Ultimate Rage 00079 on TikTok. Otherwise, I'm pretty much at The Ultimate Rage everywhere else. We need to continue to come together, working interdependently with synergy. We have to help each other. We have to fucking have real conversations. People gonna have to get their feelings hurt. Straight like that. People are going to have to get their feelings hurt. People are going to have to face the cold, harsh reality. You might need to get some counseling. You might need to even get some medicine. Whatever it is, you need to do that shit. But most importantly, we as a society have to face the truth as it is, not just what we hope it to be, or else we can continue living in la la land until we all die. And then the great filter hypothesis will be proven correct that we're too retarded to get out of our own way to actually continually ensure our collective ability to survive and thrive. That doesn't make any sense, that we would be these conscious beings with all these capabilities and we would allow ourselves to get wiped out because we're too retarded to let go of childish ideas. That doesn't make any sense. So that's why we need to stay smooth and work together interdependently with synergy to bring some goddamn sense to this crazy ass world once and for all. This has been yet another episode of the No Cap Zone, a place where we have a strict ass dress code. Knock it the fuck off with that capping ass bullshit, because the only kind of camp that we allow around these parts, it's your fucking thinking cap. That's it. That's all I give a fuck about. Thank God that everybody who came through, all two of you. I really appreciate it, but we're going to keep this going. Shout out to y'all. And stay safe out there. I'll probably be back tomorrow. I'll holler at your motherfucking boy, man.